So beyond the advertising legend tag, where did your journey actually start? I've known you for, more than 10, 15 years now. So how did you start? Where did it start?
Well, the formation years of mine go right back to when my father was in the Air Force.
Okay.
He he was a fighter pilot, and in fact, we used to be stationed in Iraq.
Okay.
So when we were in Iraq, I spent my class 3 and class 4
You were in
learning
Iraq?
Arabic. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
learning Arabic. So which means that I didn't learn Hindi for those 2 years.
Yeah.
So that is the first framing of my life, because even today I don't know whether it's Ram Kaab hai, Saqib hai, so I have not any idea. So that's when my indoctrination started.
Okay.
But after that, I spent about 10 years in Mayo College,
Okay.
which really taught me a lot, because Mayo is it's a kind of, it's a cradle for leaders.
Yes.
Fabulous place.
Rigorous learning at all. A lot of rigorous learning also at Mayo.
Yeah, you learn all kinds of things
Yeah.
in Mayo. So you learn how to be independent. So those were my background formations. My father was Punjabi, fighter pilot. My mother was Bengali. So I have a combination of both of them. So my brains are Bengali, my balls are Punjabi, which is a good sort of combination.
Yeah.
And then I moved to Delhi when I was about I think 26, 25, 26. And
Okay.
since then, my career took off.
No, but did you have advertising on your platter ever since? Like, how did that decision of you pursuing advertising come into picture?
Yeah, yeah. So in my time, I did not want to study any further.
Hmm.
So in my time, I did not want to study any further. I want to write. So Aryaman, at that point, if you want to write, you have to choose between journalism
Yeah.
and advertising. There are only two things.
Yeah.
So you're choosing between truth and money. So should you tell the truth and not make money, or tell lies and make money? So I should tell lies and make money.
Yeah.
So that's how you're an advertiser.
No, but journalism that time also, like in today's time, it's a pretty abused industry. Even if I talk about advertising as an industry per se, because my father also belongs to that industry. So I've always heard of these, controversies and scandals of how people manipulate each other. There's a lot of politics. So did you, initially face that?
In advertising?
Yeah. Or in your career, initially when you started.
Ask me again.
So, when you started pursuing advertising, so advertising as an industry or journalism also per se also has, a notion that it's an abused industry. There's a lot of politics in the industry. There's a lot of nepotism in the industry. So, did you ever face that initially when you started? Because you come from a background which is not of the same, genre.
So I think it, what is controversy, it differs from age to age,
Of course.
right?
Yes.
So today, there is so much of carefulness in what people say. At one time, it used to be said by everybody, some kind of language.
Yes.
So what was shocking now was not shocking then. So I can tell you, advertising was a pretty wild profession during that time.
Yes.
It was a pretty wild profession, and there was a lot of. So I remember when we first went to Bombay for a first shoot. I think it was Shah Rukh Khan's shoot. We stayed in this hotel called Farias,
Okay.
and we convinced one of our colleagues that agar raat mein na, if you leave a towel outside your door, a woman will come.
Okay.
he he actually was leaving a towel. So it was good fun those days.
Yes.
And people had fun, men and women laughed together.
Yeah.
Nowadays, though, you just have to say one wrong word
And you
and
go for it all.
community was. So yeah, so those were fun, happy days. We did a lot of crazy stuff. And nowadays we're more careful, feels like.
Yeah, but in those days is where you talk about the fun elements. Like even the parties, because I remember every second day, a news organization, maybe a TOI or a HT or any organization, any good client would host a so-called PR party. How did you go for them? I don't know. Did you ever go for such party?
Yeah, yeah. We used to be a lot of partying in those days. And so I was more in the advertising world.
Yes.
So there basically you had a lot of advertising awards.
Yes.
And those were like big party functions. Basically.
Yes.
Whenever you went for shooting, those were party functions. Then I did events. There's a lot of partying. So event people are basically organizing parties all the time. So I remember, so there are two stories from events. So I used to work with this event company called Showtime.
Okay.
And
Yes, of course.
me and my boss,
Hmm.
um, we had this very good strategic dialogue. So एक बार we were launching a truck called the Ace
Okay.
for Ratan Tata.
Yes, yes.
So Ratan Tata had to come up and press a button and the thing would open. So street open. The truck would be in there. Now, one of our friends, one guy called Anjan, he panicked and before Tata got up, only he opened it.
Wow.
So that's where Michael and me, the guy who owned the agency, turned to each other and says, time to run.
Yeah.
So this time to run became the phrase. So we were giving a huge party, right? So there was an ad club and they would go out and we were doing this large party on a boat.
Okay.
People getting drunk and dreaming and all. Suddenly, we realized at around 8:39 that the booze was finishing.
Okay.
All the liquor was finishing.
Yeah.
So 9:30, you said time to run in my tents. So yeah, so there's a lot of partying, a lot of drinking in those days. And partying was a big form of.
I think it comes with the job.
Also, yeah, people that time, you see, at that time, you were not into too much health. આજકાલ don't drink the air and they don't drink that much. Today, people are into a lot of health. So those days, it was a much freer life. People had more fun. People died much younger. So you party at 58, you retire, you complain until 60 and die at 62. Hello. Today, people are 70, 80, they're going around and basically healthy, don't know what to do. And one of the most famous advertising ads is for insurance. It says you plan your life perfectly and your retirement to live till 70, and then something shocking happens, you live till 90.
90.
Yes, that was a big party era, crazy things happening, some scandals, someone being discovered by someone, people getting drunk and
Slow.
things
Yeah,
are.
yeah. What was one of the funniest scandals which would have happened at that time during this time?
Okay. So,
No, it's fine. I mean, it's unfiltered. So,
a guy called Viren
okay.
Rajdhan. Viren Rai tha uska naam.
Okay.
Viren Rai was in advertising in those days and he was famous for the way he used to talk about women, right? Really bad behaved guy, and all he would go around saying is that how many chicks you slept with, how many chicks you slept with. So fine, I used to say all this. So one day when we were in agency Clarion, Viren was in his room with a client from ITC. Her name was Mini.
Okay.
अब वो कलकत्ता में क्या होता था ना, that the lights would go off suddenly.
Yes.
So from what I understood, the lights went off and they came on maybe a few years later and Mimi came screaming. She ran off. So we told Viren, what did you do? What did you do? Apparently he just grabbed, okay. But anyway, we didn't know that. So then we forgot about it. And then about 3 weeks later, ITC was briefing the whole of Clarion on a campaign.
Campaigns, yeah.
There's a guy, I forgot his name there, Kaushik or something. And he said, so now our brief for a new product is that I'm not having any discussion with animals in the room. And he walked out.
Wow.
So that's when we realized that, we're in that. So it was those were crazy days basically.
Yeah, I mean, but to be honest, the crazy people are known. I mean, that's how the stories get famous as well. But talking about socializing, you used to socialize a lot. Did people, like in today's time, you were talking about how, there's a certain structure, there's something which people need to follow. But that time, did people socialize just to cram?
Thank you.
No worries.
Yeah. Start again.
No worries. So I was saying, so socializing was such a big factor back then. So did people actually socialize to actually kind of climb the ladder or to get somewhere? Because I've heard of cases where people, like as you said, people would sleep around with people for stuff and stuff. Like in today's time, I think it does not happen as much as it used to happen back then.
Yeah. So I will. Okay, so there was this guy. He's a creative director, very famous in our time,
Yeah,
and he in Calcutta. So let's call him Wally.
yeah.
For want of a better name. And there was this girl, and for want of a better name, let's call her Asuli, right?
Yes.
So
Jolly and
Wally was known
Hmm.
for what he did with women, and
He's a guy.
everyone just because you're so senior, everyone ignored it. I remember one day Wally was going to a shoot, and this woman, she had just joined the agency 3 months ago, and Wally was going to Bombay, and he said, "Okay, trying to go catch my flight. Suli, come on." So he was going, and she was going with her, and by chance, the manager of the agency, Achin Ganguly, "Where are you going? Where are you going?" He was taking her to Bombay, and no one was so. It was I mean, there all kinds of things were happening openly, and but I'd like to think, that we still respected women.
I agree.
So there were some people with all this kind of stuff happening, but by and large, I feel there was a good ethos of good nature between the sexes.
Yes. You're right. And I think back in that time as well, as you said, because now why it is so abused is because of the, coming of social media, digital media. So people have that kind of exposure. I think back then people had that understanding that this comes with the job. It's a two-way street. So probably that's why where this actually got window.
Yeah, also, I think, unfortunately, women, they're very afraid to speak out. The Me Too movement changed all that.
Yes.
Changed that completely.
Rightly.
But at that time, I think there was a lot of harassment behind closed doors. And now, how do you separate, right? Now, how do you separate from the woman who's getting harassed and the woman who's okay partying or whatever? So, there were grey lines then, but those were wilder days.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, anyway, let's talk about good stuff. Let's talk about your Uncle Chip's key ad and how did you come up with Bole Mere Lips, I love Uncle Chips. Like that was one of your most iconic moments in your entire career.
So that is probably the worst thing I ever did. Okay, why?
Yeah.
Because when you're 27 years old,
Yes, sir.
if you write the most famous line in your advertising,
Yes.
you had it after that. You can't know anything better. You settle down here.
Yeah.
So you peaked. So I peaked at 27, and there is no way in my life I'll probably had a campaign like that. So once I wrote one or two. After Uncle Chips was coming out, the Amrit Agdo had a second product.
Okay.
It was a snack product,
Okay.
for which I had written the line, "What a chatpata laga."
Bada chatpata.
What a chatpata laga.
What a chatpata.
Very good. Anyway. So I had been briefed
Okay.
by a client on Uncle Chips, basically. And they said, we want a line around taste.
Okay.
So I remember, so they want a line around taste. So I remember going home and sitting and thinking, okay, what do I do around taste? And that time, George Bush was president.
Okay.
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 But George Bush used to have this famous line. But George Bush had this famous line, "Read my lips," famously. And looking at George Bush, and I think I was saying, okay, not bad. So advertising guys, what we do is we will connect three things.
Yeah.
Okay. So that will come and this will come. So the other day I was brainstorming for a client. She makes these cookies and she says that they have no preservatives, no this, no that. And then positive. Then I thought, yes, say yes to no. It's like, so say yes to no. We combine three things. Yeah, I was sitting and I said, okay, read my lips. So what? Lips is good. Lips is a good story. But lips tells you that. So my first thought was, read my lips. I love Uncle Chips. And then, so the thing about Uncle Chips, Bole Mere Lips is the first campaign to combine languages.
Yeah.
That's one of the English ones.
English.
So that's how it came. Bole Mere Lips, I thought of it then. But one second.
Yeah.
It's not that you come to line and then it becomes a headline.
Yeah.
It's not that. People don't know. Tomorrow I'll say just do it. You'll say what a stupid line.
Yeah. What is it?
So next thing that happened is I had to go to convince client that boss, तुम्हारा entire commercial में just use these words. Bole Mere Lips, I love it. Don't use any other words. Client said, what's wrong with you? Yeah, we want to say taste. We want to say this. So I convinced the client that all the campaign did was just say these 6 words.
Bole Mere Lips.
So it's part 1, then part 2. And then it caught on basically. Wherever I went, Bole Mere Lips. My son will park, even in hotels, will park the car. My daddy at Bole Mere Lips guy. So even when I die, I think it'll be Bole Mere Lips. Shivjeet died here basically. But it's fun. Everybody, I don't know how some people remember it, but everybody
No, but as you said that everyone does have a peak and you actually get famous after that. But did your life actually take a 360 turn after that?
Yeah, pretty much, because then I started getting job offers. So, in a sense, all this comes later. First 2-3 years, nothing happened.
Yeah.
Then people start writing about it.
Yes.
But then I started getting job offers every 2 months. Somebody would come and meet me about it. All the awards started coming. Satisfied other campaigns. Yeah, it was.